Rama Screen is now on audio. So download Rama Screen as a podcast on iTunes so you can listen to the reviews, interviews, discussions, and the weekly show Rockin' It with Rama Screen anytime, anywhere. What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Isn't It Romantic? Let's rock this. Isn't It Romantic is goofy, it's absurd, it's outlandish, and I don't necessarily mean those things in a bad way. I can't hate this movie because I am a big fan of romantic comedy. So the idea of making fun of all the cliches and the predictable stuff about this genre is actually pretty hilarious. Now, more than a decade ago, there's this rom-com spoof called Date Movie, but that one is different by a mile. Isn't It Romantic is not like that at all. Sure, you can probably argue that this one sort of somewhat has elements of Pretty Woman, but Isn't It Romantic is more about picking on the formulaic nature and the stereotypical traits or the characteristics of rom-com, as opposed to just copying or mimicking every detail of every scene of an existing movie. And at the end of the day, Isn't It Romantic actually celebrates rom-com. On top of the fact that Rebel Wilson is just so damn likable. Even when she keeps literally falling flat on her face, there's something about her presence and the way she carries herself that can get you giggling. Rebel Wilson plays New York City architect Natalie, who is really good at her job and works hard to get noticed. But her boss and her co-workers only see her as somebody who delivers them coffee and bagel. Her assistant loves watching rom-com, while Natalie feels that rom-com is so overrated. Until one day when a mugger renders her unconscious, Natalie wakes up to discover that her life has turned into a romantic comedy and she is the leading lady. Co-starring Liam Hemsworth as the handsome billionaire client Blake, Adam Devine as the best friend who secretly has a crush on Natalie, and Priyanka Chopra as yoga ambassador Isabella. Let me put it this way, very simply. If last year's I Feel Pretty movie's self-empowerment themes just didn't quite cut it for you, then you might want to give Isn't It Romantic a chance, because it basically tackles similar concept about appreciating yourself and loving who you are and not needing validation from others in order to be confident about your identity. The jokes in Isn't It Romantic don't always work, but the overall comedy is endearing because it comes from a place that means well and genuinely wants a happy ending to exist for its lead character, in this case, Natalie. This movie is directed by Todd Strauss-Schulson, who in 2015 gave us The Final Girls, which essentially pokes fun at the nature of serial killer movies. So Todd, being the right man for the job of directing Isn't It Romantic, is not an understatement. I read somewhere that Todd even watched hours upon hours of rom-coms to prepare himself for this. And I must say, it pays off. Isn't It Romantic even does an excellent job of pointing out that most rom-coms out there are PG-13, so you don't really get to see the characters having sex. It's only suggested, and then it immediately cuts to the morning after in the bedroom. That is probably the part in this movie that cracks me up the most. Fun fact that I think I should mention to you. This is Rebel Wilson's first film as the lead star. Usually in other movies, she plays the comic relief supporting role, but not in this one. This is her moment in the sun. So congrats to Rebel. And the other fun fact is that this is the fourth time that Adam Devine and Rebel Wilson have played love interest together after Workaholics and Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2. Which makes sense because they look so good as an on-screen couple. Kinda like Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. Priyanka's and Liam's characters are not too far different from one another. Their characters speak in typically self-aggrandizing fashion about their lives and successes. But they both have their silly moments as well that are worth chuckling about. Which leads me to my last point. Rebel Wilson in this one may not be as over the top outrageous as she was in those Pitch Perfect movies. But this whole thing with Natalie being self-aware of where she is and how she's gung-ho about scoring true love's kiss in order to return to her world like it's some kind of a MacGuffin that Indiana Jones is chasing after. Throughout all that, Rebel Wilson shines. Whether it be dancing to Whitney Houston's song or stopping a wedding a la The Graduate, Rebel Wilson can make you laugh even when she's not trying. My point is, Isn't It Romantic is the perfect movie for Rebel Wilson's first leading role because it is the movie that encapsulates her charisma and her brand of humor. So that's it. That's my review of Isn't It Romantic? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, subscribe to my channel and press that like button and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Hey, if you like this review and you want me to make more, please contribute monthly to help support this channel at Rama Screen Patreon page. Become my patrons today at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.